In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to edit that painted, painterly style, pastel style of photography. And we're going to be doing this all in Lightroom in just a few easy to follow steps. Now, if you haven't already seen the video of me POV style, GoPro on my chest, out taking this sort of photography, then please click on this video here. It will take you back to the Notting Hill video where I'm going around and I'm talking to you about how I do this actual photography. There are a few elements to consider, so please check that out. If you have already checked that out, we can jump straight into Lightroom and get editing. So here we are in Lightroom. This is one of the pictures I captured whilst I was out in Notting Hill. It was a beautiful sunny day, a little bit overcast, but this type of photography still works when it's a little bit overcast. You do want a nice, bright, sunny day though. That really does help. So the first thing we're going to do is to make this image nice and flat. That's the very first thing that you want to do when it comes to this pastel style of photography. And we do that by not touching the contrast at all. So the first thing I'm going to do to this image is grab the highlight slider and I'm going to bring that right down. And I'm always checking my image while I'm doing this. So for this particular image, I reckon I'm going to go -82. And then I'm going to go to my shadow slider and I'm going to pull that all the way to the top. And I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go +82 on the shadow slider. Then I'm just going to bring down my whites just a little bit. That's just going to help to flatten the image a bit more. So -19, and then I'm going to bring up my blacks just a touch. Blacks, let's say +16, or maybe a little bit lower actually. +11 for this image. Okay, now I'm going to hit Y on my keyboard, and that's going to bring the before and after up of this particular image. And already you can see it's flatter. The colors are popping out a little bit more, but you can see less shadow and less highlights. They're more in balance with each other. That gives that much more flatter image. Okay, let's continue. Let's hit Y again on the keyboard. Go back to our edit image. I'm just going to grab the scroll bar on the right hand side and I'm going to scroll down to presence. And in this section, we're just going to add a little bit of texture and we're going to drop the clarity down. So I'm going to add about a +18 in texture and I'm going to drop the clarity down to about -15, let's say -19. And then the haze, this is just going to help give it a bit of a more misty, kind of dreamy sort of look. You can drop it all the way down to the bottom and you can see what it's actually doing. It's really giving a sort of like hazy look. So we're going to drop that down to -12, let's say. Now onto vibrance and saturation. I'm going to drop down the vibrance to -11 and the saturation, I'm just going to pop the saturation up just a little bit to +9. And then we're going to come down to the tonal curve. So the tonal curve here, we're just going to add a little bit more of brightness to the entire image. And it's going to help make it look a little bit flatter. So we're just going to grab the pin at the top right hand corner and we're just going to drag it slightly into the left, not too much, and then down at the bottom we're going to grab the pin as well and we're going to pull it a little bit up. And you can see we haven't done much there, but it's just made the image look a little bit flatter. So hit Y on your keyboard again and you can see already we have got a much more sort of painted look from our original, the before and after. So hit Y on your keyboard again, back to the edited image, and that's step 1 complete. We've made the image nice and flat. Now we're going to move on to step 2 and we're going to add more color, more luminance and more saturation to the color. So just grab your little scroll bar on the right hand side, scroll down to the color mixer, and I like to start off with the saturations. And the saturations, I want to put more saturation into the red. You can really see this image really come alive when I do this. So +54 here, and the oranges as well, more saturation in the oranges, +45. Always checking my image as I do this because each image is going to have different balances of reds and yellows and blues, for example. So this one, there's a lot of red and there's a lot of yellow and blues in it. Or a bit of yellow and a bit of blue, majority red. So I'm just going to grab my yellow slider and I'm going to pump that up a little bit. That's going to help the shot pop out a little bit more. So I'm going plus 33. Green, that's going to be in the trees, so we're going to pop that out a little bit, plus 47. So the aqua and the blues, this will help pull their clothing out a little bit. Plus 34 on the aqua and the blues. Blues plus 37. I'm going to have a little play with the purples. The purples are not really going to do much. I'm going to drop them down, the purple. So minus 48 for this image. It's just helping to make the guy's shirt a little bit more balanced with the rest of his clothing. And the magenta is the shop. So yeah, we can see that's doing quite a lot to the shop. So I'm going to go plus 50 on the magenta. And then I'm just going to simply click on the luminance. Luminance meaning how bright the colors are. So saturation is obviously how saturated the colors are. The luminance is going to help make them pop even more. So with the red, we're just going to bring that up to 33. Orange, you can really see the plant pots and the pavement come to life when I'm pulling up that orange. You have to be careful with the oranges as well because it will affect the skin tone. So always pay attention to skin tone when you're playing around with the red slider, the orange slider, and the yellow slider. We don't want our subjects to start looking like cartoon characters. Yellow, just pop that up a little bit. Green, I'm just going to add some green, plus 54 for the green. Sorry, yellow is plus 33. Aqua, I'm pumping that up to plus 50. Blue, you can really see the difference that makes in the guy's jeans and his shirt. It really makes the shirt and the jeans pop out. And if we go the other way, it makes it look a lot flatter. I like his jeans and his shirt to pop out. And obviously, with each image that you edit, they're going to have different balances of colors. So that's why it's super important to just check your image before and after when you're playing with these sliders. Purple, I'm just going to bring the purple up a little bit. Magenta, I'm going to bring the magenta up a little bit as well. So the purple is plus 41 and the magenta is plus 40. So that's step 2. I'm going to hit Y on my keyboard. We've played with the colors. And that's a huge difference from before and after. The before looks really boring, and the after, we've really got that painted look, that painterly look, that Wes Anderson look. I mean, you could just pop that into a Wes Anderson movie and it would fit in perfectly. Right, so hit Y on your keyboard again, and I'm just going to scroll right down to the bottom for step 3. And step 3 is the camera calibration section. So in this section, I'm simply going to grab the red saturation and I'm going to bring that up to around plus 30. And then I'm going to grab the hue on the red slider. I'm just going to have a little play with this. I'm not going to play with it too much for this image. Plus 15, plus 16, and it's adding a lot of warmth to the red. And then I'm going to go down to the blue slider and I'm going to do the same, plus 30 on the saturation, and this time I'm going to drop the blue to the left. I'm going to add more teal into the image. This image, it hasn't got too much blue going on, so you won't notice it as much, but that's what I like to do. So those are your 3 main steps, and if you hit Y on your keyboard, it's a huge difference. We're there, we're almost there. I've got one bonus step for you. So hit Y on your keyboard again. Now I go all the way back up to the top. So when I start off with this editing, I never play with the temperature or the exposure sliders. I leave that to last. So what I like to do is now come back to my temperature slider, and I like to add a little bit of warmth. These images are all about color, vibrance, and sunny days. And what do we have on sunny days? Well, we have warmth. So I'm going to add a little bit more warmth to this particular picture. I'm going to go 6,200. I'm going to play with the tint just a little bit. No, I don't want to do anything to the tint, so I'm going to leave it where it was. So bang in the middle on 0. And then lastly, I'm going to come down to my exposure slider and I'm just going to touch this just a little bit to the right. So I've gone plus 0.26. And now I am happy with that particular image. So I'm going to hit Y on the keyboard and look at that. A huge difference, and I'm really happy with that image. It looks fantastic. So there you have it. In no time at all, a painterly look, Wes Anderson style of edit for your photos. I think it looks great. It's a lot of fun. So let me just show you one other thing. So if I go to another one of my images, so I'll just show you another one. This is Notting Hill as well. This is one of my favorite pictures. This old chap sitting outside the pub on a sunny day, having a drink and reading the paper. So here's the pastel edit 0001 02 03 04 05 06 07. So for this particular image, I would select 03, and all you need to do is simply just come over to your temperature slider, adjust your temperature slider to how you like it, and adjust your exposure to how you like it. And there you have it. You have a painterly look in just a few clicks. Okay, let me know in the comments below what you think about this edit. Let me know if you want me to go to another part of London or maybe even abroad. Remember to get out there and take those photos.